All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan here alongside Joel.
Hello, hello.
We are the Michigan Storm Chasers here. We have a few things to talk about in regards to the upcoming severe weather risks for today slash tonight overnight. So go ahead and hop in here, smash the like button for us, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the SPC does have a risk in place for a good chunk of lower Michigan here, only excluding the very far eastern portions of the state towards Detroit, Port Huron, Port Austin, up toward Alpena. Now, we do have a slight risk that has been bumped into the very far extreme portion of West Michigan toward Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Benton Harbor, South Haven, all the way up toward like the Manistee, Ludington area, just south of that area, really. So that's going to be level 2 out of 5 risk there in yellow. Then the dark green's a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk there for a majority of the state. So, with that being said, your hazards today. Number one is going to be damaging wind. That's really going to be the primary driver of this overall risk. See that red area out there in Wisconsin? It's your 30% hatched for severe damaging winds, perhaps intense damaging winds, likely out to our west. But that black hatched area does come just across Lake Michigan. It doesn't come into Michigan at this point in time. That's because we're expecting a squall line to develop out to our west later this afternoon and evening. It's going to push our direction and arrive overnight tonight. That's your main driver. Hail threat today is going to be tied to the UP, in particular the western half of the UP. And then also the risk for a tornado or two possible. It bumps in very far southwest Michigan there toward Van Buren and Berrien County. We'll have to watch the southwest Michigan, just West Michigan in general areas. We notice here the green 2% risk does come very close to the shoreline. So shoreline counties toward 131 west should be on alert toward Grand Rapids and south. So we'll watch that. Overall risk for that is on the lower side of things, but not zero. Okay. Now, overall risk again, slight risk bumps into West Michigan, marginal to the east, and also in the UP as well, Eastern UP and the marginal. All right. Now, as far as timing goes, this is kind of misleading here because the severe weather outlook says Monday, June 24th. Let's go ahead and clarify this right up front here. These outlooks are valid. Day one outlooks are valid until 8 in the morning. So this outlook is valid until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Keep that in mind.
Yes, that's very important here because a lot of you guys are going to read this Monday, June 24th. Oh, we're expecting storms today. Not really. Today should be pretty much dry across the entire state. It's overnight tonight we got to be concerned about. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into the model here real quick. So looking at how it's going to evolve via the 12Z HRRR. Now, again, I will also preface this and say models can be very inconsistent with summertime systems like this. So this is just a model's best guess as to what's going to happen. All right. So moving this forward into tonight, we're going to see a line of storms out here in Wisconsin develop roughly 1 to 2 in the morning here. So Western UP may get clipped by that right after midnight Eastern time, 11 p.m. Central. That's going to push east southeast toward lower Michigan. This is 4 in the morning here. We see some storms arriving there north of Grand Rapids, roughly around that 4 in the morning time frame, and then that's going to continue to push and progress eastward and southward as the overnight hours turn to sunrise. This model right here is at 8 in the morning. Okay, so arrival of storms 4 to 5 in the morning overnight tonight / Tuesday morning, and it's going to progress eastward. Okay, so again, that risk that we saw, the SPC risk is for today, but technically that risk is valid till 8 a.m. So at that point in time, these storms are going to be pushing across our state at 8 a.m. And that's going to clear the state roughly by around noon. All right. Now, we do have a couple models to go over with you. So keep in mind, just kind of remember this, how it plays out. Squall line pushes across Lake Michigan, arrives toward the Grand Rapids area, pushes east-southeastward towards sunrise tomorrow morning. Now, we do have a couple latest models coming in here via the RFS, FV3, NAM3, a few other models that we use to get going or get a good idea of what's going to be happening here. So if we were to zoom this into the Michigan look, the RRFS model in particular, we're going to give you guys this look at things as well as the FV3. A few concerns with the overall placement of the overall squall line. That could be north, it could be south, it could be one gigantic encompassing the northern and lower part of Michigan. This model here is saying that we're going to have arrival of a pretty decent looking squall line right around 6 to 7 in the morning. So a little bit later on time frame, but still arrives. Now it looks pretty nasty here as it pushes through the state. Muskegon here, Mount Pleasant, Grand Rapids. It's going to push east-southeastward. Here's 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 11 a.m. Should clear the state roughly around that noon, probably just after noon time frame. But this model does have a pretty good bow echo here, pushing across the state tomorrow morning. Okay. One more model we're going to look at is another solution off of the FD3 model. I have to move this back up here to the Midwest. There we go. So this model is going to convect a little bit further north than the other models. So here's that squall line type of scenario up there in Wisconsin. It's going to develop. It's going to push eastward across the UP, and it's going to remain up there in northern lower. Notice how southern lower doesn't get affected. So all we're trying to say here is there's still a few different model solutions that we're going off of. There's more we could dive into, but these are the main three. Okay, so one is a pretty good bow echo forming. The second one's a little bit less disorganized. Roughly the same areas though around Grand Rapids and points southeastward. But there's a few models like the FV3 here that do tie that main squall line to the north. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it very closely. We'll have updates as this occurs. But again, we're still roughly 16 hours out from this actually happening. This is not imminent. We have time to look at new data and stuff like that. So we'll have probably an update, perhaps maybe another live stream later tonight. We'll have to decide that if there's any significant changes. If there is, we'll probably go live again, probably 9-10 p.m. tonight to discuss those with you. And Joel and I will be tracking these all night for you guys. We'll be live as needed. But just know there's some different scenarios here that could play out. Main hazards, though, with any of these storms, whatever scenario is going to occur, is going to be damaging winds. I'm going to use the RFS model because I think that's a pretty good depiction of where storms are going to be. The main question is how severe or how strong they're going to be. So if we look back here at the RFS, we're going to see the squall line from roughly Big Rapids down across Lake Michigan back toward Wisconsin. It's going to drift southeastward here. Along the leading edge of that squall line will likely be damaging winds. Now, I will say the ingredients out ahead of this line are a little lackluster. We're going to be missing surface cape, which is your instability to fuel storms. We are going to have quite a bit of instability in the elevated layer of the atmosphere, so above ground, which can fuel these storms. So we're going to be watching that closely. But we also have a few other ingredients that could maintain this. We're going to be watching in particular for perhaps an MCV, which could help sustain this even further. So there is some question as to overall severity, just given overall lack of ingredients. But we do think at this time there is enough support for this complex to survive, bringing scattered damaging winds to the west side of Michigan at very least. And it should be in a weakening phase as it continues to push eastward towards southeast Michigan. So overall synopsis, overall overview of this is if you're in West Michigan, especially toward Big Rapids, Grand Rapids, down to Kalamazoo, over to about Lansing, Alma. You guys are going to be in that highest concern tonight. We think it's going to be down further south. We're not really buying the further north model just yet. We're just kind of throwing that out there as a possible solution. We think that it's going to be further south there toward Big Rapids, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo areas, pushing southeastward. Damaging winds, your main and probably your only really concern tonight. Not going to rule out a brief tornado. Those cannot be ruled out with these systems, although the overall environment, again, is not supportive of that given lack of instability on the surface and a few other things that are just kind of limiting that factor overall. So damaging winds would not rule out large hail as well, but again, looks pretty unlikely for anything, widespread hail-wise. So damaging winds should be the primary driver and concern towards sunrise tomorrow morning. All right, so that's your overall synopsis. You're going to say something, Joel?
Yeah, and another bit of uncertainty, of course, that you forgot to mention is the timing. Those models all have it coming across anywhere between 4 a.m. all the way up to like 8 a.m. at the earliest on the west side of Michigan. So I'm going to be working on a timing map throughout the day today. I'm going to wait for the HRRR run to come out at 18Z, and then I'll go off of that a little bit. I saw a comment in there saying something about which model we think is going to be most accurate, and usually on average it is the HRRR model. So we're going to kind of guide our basis on that and maybe a little bit of the wrap. I don't think we pulled up the wrap, but it's another short-term model that we could also look at there. While Ryan's doing that, I saw there was 10 gifted memberships from Evan Heemstra. Thank you, Evan, for your generous support to the page and supporting us. And if you got a gifted membership here on YouTube, make sure to thank Evan. And we also have Dawn, who became a member today here at MSC. Thank you, Dawn, as always.
As far as the wrap goes here,
yeah,
we're going to be looking at the 18, or not 18, but the 15Z wrap. We're going to see that complex a little bit further south here, roughly 3 in the morning. So a lot a lot earlier. But
Mhm.
notice it's kind of spread out there across Michigan as well. So this isn't a high res model. I wouldn't really bank any like. I wouldn't put too much confidence in the wrap model per se.
Yeah,
But this model does have it a little bit earlier arriving.
gotcha. And HRRR had, I think, around 4 or 5 for West Michigan.
Yeah.
So, again, for those who are just tuning in, that day one outlook goes until 8 a.m. in the morning the next day. So that's why we see these yellows and oranges for us. But it's sunny out today, and it'll be like that pretty much all day for most of you guys. I will say UP could get started a little bit earlier, probably around 9 or 10 around sunset at the earliest. But again, I think confidence will be greatest after midnight for pretty much everybody across the state of Michigan today or tonight. There is a chance it could kill afternoon storms tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do a briefing separate for Tuesday evening's risk later tonight. So we're just kind of separate the two first. But yes, there is a risk Tuesday night as well, although it's going to be heavily dependent on how Tuesday morning plays out. It's very possible, Summer, that this morning threat on Tuesday could definitely kill the threat Tuesday night. Models right now are kind of picking up on that. But again, some are trying to throw instability back in there. Right now, with these summer type systems, it's very hard to forecast the next day because it's like a domino effect here. So the likely solution here is just pump the brakes a bit. Let's get through tomorrow morning first, and then we'll see how tomorrow evening plays out. But just know there is a risk tomorrow in Michigan. In fact, this is your risk. I'll throw it up there real quick. Highest in the southwest portion of the state still, but a risk does extend over to Alpena, Mount Pleasant, Roscommon areas over toward Detroit. We'll discuss that more tonight. We do have a YouTube video out talking about Tuesday evening's risk. If you guys want to go see it, it's the latest upload. It is titled Severe Weather Update, June 24th and June 25th. It's the latest upload on our YouTube. And the link is also on our Facebook page as well. Scroll down 1 or 2 posts, you'll find it. And yes, we will be live tomorrow morning tracking these.
Mm-hmm. Team No Sleep.
Yep.
Can we build a dome over Michigan? Yeah, but that would just go to Ontario instead. Yeah, for those who are new here, we do go live for every severe thunderstorm warning. That's the policy, kind of. And yeah, that's no exception for overnight storms. We're usually up late anyways, so we'll be here. We were up watching the storms for 3 hours behind the scenes last night, and there were 40-mile-per-hour winds and wherever. So just in case.
Kind of surprised us a bit last night.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of these looking to be threat for tornadoes? So Hannah, the overall tornadic risk for both Tuesday morning and Tuesday evening do not look very high at all. It's not a zero threat, but it is a very low threat.
Mm-hmm.
If there's going to be any risk for that, it'll likely be tied to the West Michigan Lakeshore counties or close to that 131 corridor from roughly Grand Rapids south. So, for example, on the map here, roughly this area right here. If hail does come, what size? So large hail is not really too much of a concern tonight. The hail risk here, if I can find it, there it is. The hail risk is actually tied well off to our west into Wisconsin, but also the western UP is under a hail risk as well. But lower Michigan with that squall line approaching, not seeing too much of a concern for large hail. So if there's going to be hail, likely will be like pea size, perhaps penny size at most. Will the enhanced risk shift further east? At this point, I'm going to say unlikely. But we're going to reiterate this a lot this summer with these typical summer-like patterns. Things can ramp up quickly and ramp down very quickly. Mm-hmm. So be alert. If anything changes, we're going to post it ASAP on our Facebook page. For those of you watching on YouTube who don't follow us on Facebook, we have a lot of updates going out to Facebook. That's our main platform for updates. We stream to both platforms, but Facebook is where we post a lot of our updates. So head on over to our Facebook page, Michigan Storm Chasers, and if anything changes, we'll post it to Facebook immediately, and Twitter as well, /X.
We do have Instagram and TikTok too, but we don't use them as much.
We want to start using those more, but it's just we were so busy we can't really.
Yeah, I have been posting a couple updates lately on Instagram, like just graphics and stuff. So, in case that's good for you guys. MI Storm Chasers.
Do us a favor if you're just sitting there watching us, hit the like button, whether on Facebook or YouTube. Would appreciate that. Helps us out a lot. Helps your neighbors out as well who may not be aware of any risks this evening /overnight/tomorrow.
Do you guys still go live for Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network? Ryan, you want to answer that one?
Yes, we do when there's no active threat for Michigan. And lately that has not been not been a thing lately. Michigan's just been going off. So yes, it's still active, but only on certain days. I was thinking about going live over there just because it's an enhanced for Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that later on this evening.
Yeah.
Or perhaps afternoon.
YouTube chat has the vibes. Ryan, I don't know the answer to this one. Is there a big difference between the EF1 and EF2 subscription tiers on YouTube?
The only difference between the tiers are, I believe, EF3, EF4 members get discounted merch. I will check on that really quickly. But the perks are the same pretty much across. The main thing you're going to get is exclusive forecasts.
And you get the stickers.
And stickers, yes. But the higher you go, the more discount you get on merchandise. I believe EF4 tier has a free T-shirt once you get to the second month. It's been a while since I set these tiers, so
we could clean them. We could clean them up here, Ryan, in a little bit.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, memberships are totally optional, but it's an additional way to support the page if you guys are feeling generous. We always appreciate it, of course. Sounds good, Trace. Next updated map for the SBC comes out at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We'll probably post that as needed if there's any significant change. And then there is the last day one update is at 9 p.m. So we have 2 more updates for day one. And those will be the last 2 updates for the event that's supposed to happen overnight tonight.
Worst case, Eric says worst case scenario for both systems. I think the worst case for this morning system, or should I say this upcoming system Tuesday morning, would be this squall line remains intact as a strong squall line, because that could bring widespread wind. Although I don't think the atmosphere is supportive of widespread damaging wind. I think it's more so isolated, scattered in nature. But that'd be the worst case scenario, that this line just plows through Wisconsin, across Lake Michigan, and into West Michigan. That's probably the worst case scenario here. This is for tomorrow morning, technically, Miranda. So the outlook here from SPC is valid until 8 a.m. So what you're likely seeing here, or what we're likely going to see, is storms developing overnight towards that sunrise time frame, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And that outlook is valid until that time. So today should be primarily dry across the entire state. It's tonight, overnight, you got to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Will that 3 area move into southwest lower? Slim chance. Slim chance. Right now, I think what they have right now is probably a good indicator of what's actually going to happen. Again, because it's interesting because the timing of this is right when the forecast changes over to the Tuesday forecast. Again, that's 8 a.m. And that's right about when these storms are going to be coming through. So this day one outlook is like the very end of day one, which is, early Tuesday morning. Chances for tomorrow. Again, might have to play it by ear as of right now. We'll kind of, once we see what happens with the atmosphere overnight tonight, we'll dive into that probably sometime midday tomorrow after this line of storms that comes through in the morning disappears and goes away. So once we get that break, we'll kind of go over another briefing probably tomorrow afternoon early.
Yeah, I will say with this complex coming across in the morning here, when we look at, like, for example, tomorrow, we have a lot of uncertainty. Mainly, what's going to happen if this thing dives south here? The instability is also going to be south here as that dives south. So it's going to tie the instability down to our south, not going to allow it to push north back into the state. So that's the main question: how much it can build back north if that complex actually does dive south.
Mhm.
So best case scenario, this complex comes through as a weak line. It shifts everything to our south and to our west. That's the best case scenario for tomorrow night. But we're not really going to know until.
On top of that, if it does clear out behind that, then again you have surface instability that does ramp up as well. That will perhaps kick off some severe weather for Tuesday afternoon and evening.
What is the wind and the hail threat tomorrow, Lucas? The tomorrow, as in tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. As far as tomorrow evening goes, we really can't dive into details with that just yet. Wind would be the primary driver, though, if there's going to be a risk. But as far as hail and tornadoes go, we can't say that for sure yet.
What did you mean by best case scenario there, Ryan? Like best case as in we won't get anything?
Best case as in escaping severe weather for tomorrow night. As storm chasers, we want to see a good storm, yes, but we're here to protect and keep you guys safe. So when I say best case scenario, I'm talking about the best case, the best outcome here for you guys, which would be no severe weather.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say, as storm chasers, I think this complex that comes across tomorrow morning is going to have a beautiful shelf cloud on it. Likely going to have a lot of good structure with that. So you guys may be seeing really cool pictures tomorrow morning as that line pushes across the state.
Yeah. And Tangi brings up a good point. Possible flooding tomorrow, yes. Especially with how big of that complex is. It pretty much crosses the entire state and kind of covers the area for about 3 to 4 hours at a time. And with rainfall rates per hour, I think probably up over 1.5 inches in some spots, you could see already saturated grounds become more saturated. Again, I saw places up north had about 3 to 4 inches in some spots. Easily could be flooding risk up there again tomorrow morning and into the lunchtime period. Devin with a $1.99 super chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Devin.
Yes, thank you, Devin, for your support. Also, the members who are joining and gifted memberships. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Will the lake kill it some? So, yes and no. The instability is going to have a hard time crossing the lake. Will it kill the storms? No. Does it prevent unstable air from crossing? Kind of, yeah. So yes and no. It's a little bit complicated of a forecast.
Yep. Typical Michigan MCS magic probably tomorrow morning. See this every time, every summer, or all the time, every summer, I meant to say. You get these big, huge Boeing segments. No stranger to them.
I will say we'll have a video releasing about that upcoming pattern here, because we're looking at a very active pattern coming up for early July. We just put a video out to our members. They're seeing that now. We're going to release that publicly probably sometime tomorrow or Wednesday.
Speaking of members, Pacify, ASMR, 5 gifted memberships for those who are subscribed on YouTube. Again, subscribing on YouTube is free. And every time someone does gift memberships, as long as you have the setting turned on for allowing gifted memberships, you may have received a gifted membership. So if you got one, feel free to thank Pacify and thank you for the support of our channel.
I may do a membership giveaway here soon. So I can figure this out real quick.
It's per month, Ryan.
You'll see what I'm doing here in a second.
Oh, okay. Julie says, what? Michigan has Chick-fil-A? I've had a couple Chick-fil-A's for a while now, Julie. I know Grand Rapids has like 5 now, and they had 0 as of like 5 years ago.
Julie, Monroe has one. You should totally go.
Not sponsored.
If Chick-fil-A is watching this and wants to sponsor us, please feel free to reach out.
That's a gifted membership party now. Jazz, as always, thank you, Jazz. 10 gifted memberships for those who are subscribed on YouTube. Appreciate you, Jazz, as always. And you are one of our most beloved mods. All of our mods are beloved as well. Shout out to our mod team. You guys are awesome. Keeping that chat in check. Yes, Surveyor Chance map has changed. It has nudged a little bit east at the 12:30 update, and that's what you're seeing right now on your screen. I'm not picking favorites. That's why I said we love them all equally. Janet, welcome to the team here at MSC. Appreciate your support. Hope you stick around. Ooh, 1998 was mentioned, Ryan.
This is not going to be a 1998 event. We have to have a lot come together, which is, I guess, not impossible, but it's no.
One word, no.
Yeah, no.
I mean, damaging winds still a threat. You don't want to discredit that, but
Right.
1998 was on its own level, like 120 mile per hour winds. Not expecting anything crazy like that.
Don't do that one.
Okay. Ryan, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, no, don't do that one.
Dawn says welcome. So we can become members of our own channel.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, 1998 was, some of you guys probably remember that. It was power was out for, I think, weeks at a time for some places. And it was just, people lost like entire forests and stuff like that. It was crazy, but no, we're not expecting anything like that. But damaging winds 60 to 70 maybe at the most, if that hatched risk does move across shore. But again, right now we're expecting probably in the ballpark about 60 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, like I said before, though, we're 16 hours away from this event actually happening. So there's a lot that can change between now and then. These systems can ramp up quick and ramp back down quickly. So either is possible with both tomorrow morning and also tomorrow evening. So definitely pay attention. And this is not a final set in stone forecast. This is updated here again at 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. tonight. So we have a lot to figure out yet, although we think we have a good idea of what's going to happen. It's just not 100% certainty just yet. Nicole, this is going to be for, I guess, both tomorrow, but tomorrow morning, especially towards sunrise, 4, 5, 6 a.m., then another threat potentially later on in the evening for Tuesday.
Justin, welcome to the channel. Appreciate your support, Justin. You're awesome, and hope you stick around. Welcome to the team.
Justin. Yep.
Team MSC.
Need a sticker for Team MSC.
We have the logo, super chat, or the sticker. Risk for tornadoes 2% or lower, mainly for like the extreme western shore of Lake Michigan. But the main threat's going to be damaging winds. But again, damaging winds can cause more damage than a weak tornado.
Think about it. EF0 tornado is like 70-mile-an-hour winds, for example, and we can have 70-mile-per-hour winds, not rotational winds, but still in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Call straight line winds. It can still cause, equal or perhaps greater amount of damage.
Yep. 1998 is the year I graduated. I don't remember a strong storm. Where did it hit? Pretty much it was the end of May in 1998. So right around graduation, and it crossed the entire state overnight into the morning hours, kind of similar to the timing tonight. And it took out power for hundreds and thousands of people and for weeks at a time. So there's a lot of people that remember it. I know my parents remember it. And winds topped at 130 in some spots, which is crazy.
All right, guys. Time frame for this storm. Let's go over this again here. There's a lot of questions popping in chat. So this outlook says Monday, June 24th. This outlook per SPC, every single day one SPC outlook that is on day one is valid until 8 a.m. the next morning. So this outlook is valid until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The expected arrival of storms tonight. Today should be dry. Clear that up. Today should be completely dry. Overnight tonight, 4 a.m. at the earliest in lower Michigan. The UP could go earlier. We'll keep an eye on that. But if you live down like Lansing, Grand Rapids, Big Rapids, in lower Michigan, your risk comes toward that sunrise 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. time frame overnight tonight. Okay. And we'll have a timing map posted a little bit later on. We're waiting for more model guidance here because there's a pretty good spread on models of timing differences. So we're going to wait for one more model suite at 3 p.m. to come in. And then Joel will have his map up as far as timing goes by probably the evening dinner hour.
Yeah. Nicole, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the team. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you very much. It's a party in here.
It is a party in here.
There was a tornado back in the day that has formed off Lake Michigan. I believe that was the Hudsonville-Standale tornado. Came right off. It was a tornadic water spout, came on shore, and it was caused damage all the way up to the Grand Rapids and Rockford area. So not unlikely. But again, we're not seeing anything in the way of tornadoes tomorrow. It's 2% at the very low or at the very highest, I guess you could say. But again, main threat, damaging winds.
I see your comment, Yankee Springs Fire Department. Thanks for joining the chat. It says Hastings. We're asking about Hastings again tomorrow, toward that sunrise time frame for Hastings, 6 a.m., give or take an hour or two. Damaging winds for you guys is your main concern. So might have a few trees down across roadways calls come in for you guys. Hopefully not, but just be prepared for it. And yes, tornadoes can and do occur in any risk category, whether it's marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, high. They happen at all categories. So I see a lot of comments rolling in almost every single time there's a threat for tornado. Oh, it's only a marginal. It's not going to happen. And time and time again, these people come back and say the exact same thing, even though tornadoes that day occurred in a marginal or slight risk. So
yeah. The storms last night that came through at about 3 a.m. had no thunderstorm risk in them, and there's thunderstorms. Like that light green, that light green shade you see on the right side of your screen there for eastern portion of the state. That wasn't even here for the overnight period last night, and we had a huge line of storms come through. So play our own games here in Michigan. A lot of micro scale things going on.
Fireworks tonight in Detroit at 10 p.m. You'll be fine, Bob. No storms for Detroit tonight. You'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is the time frame for this is going to be after probably 4 a.m. for lower Michigan.
Yeah, a lot of most unstable Cape out there. So we'll have a lot of Cape driving these storms tonight.
Yep.
A
So
lot of helicity as well.
yeah, we have a lot of shear here for these storms to work with, but we're just not gonna have the fuel to get these, a full blown, severe weather
Mhm.
outbreak, I guess, for lack of a better term. But for example, here, guys, your surface-based fuel for these storms at 4 to 5 in the morning looks like this. This is let's do 6. Here's 6 in the morning, guys. So notice how there's basically nothing here in Michigan. So there's no fuel on the surface for these storms. But if we go up into the atmosphere, look what happens. There's your fuel. That's going to be your fuel right there in Michigan for these storms. And that's your instability in the elevated layer of the atmosphere. So we're going to be stable on the surface, but we're going to be unstable above.
Yeah. Any chasers? So mainly, I think probably the people that are going to be in West Michigan are the guys that already live there. So like Drew and Nick, for example, will be in the area. They'll have shots of it. But again, pretty much everybody here has full-time or part-time jobs. So, this is all what we do is pretty much all volunteer. So all our Chaser Partner Network guys have jobs as well. So it's by committee, I guess you could say. Curse you, fuel. Good one. I like that. Don't like the weather. Wait 5 minutes. It will change. Yeah.
Welcome to Michigan.
It's going to be a pretty big MCS tomorrow, so it'll be raining and storming for probably an hour or two at the most. So we might have to wait a little bit longer than 5 minutes. We do need people in the studio, though, so I think Ryan and I will probably be the ones on radar duty and stuff like that. We stay up late. We'll be live.
Oh, yeah. We're probably going to try, at least for me personally, I'm going to try and probably catch a nap after our briefing tonight. Because we're probably going to have about a 4-hour gap of nothing going on between like 10 and 2 in the morning. But then from there, it's going to be pure tracking, probably severe weather across Lake Michigan. So, and perhaps the UP as well.
Yep.
I have the draw tool now, Joel. I don't know if you saw that or not, but like I
What'd
can
you say?
draw it. I can draw stuff on maps now.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that.
It's like a teardrop.
So I can say we have a line of storms going to form somewhere over there. It's going to push this way toward West Michigan.
Severe likely for Portage. Yeah, around and after the 4 a.m. time frame tonight. So early morning Tuesday. Again, these outlooks go until 8 a.m. the next day. So Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. is when this risk or the convective outlook that you were seeing on your screen expires and goes to the next day one outlook. There's a chance Enhanced could be pushed west, but at this time we're thinking the slight is a good bet for probability-wise. Again, that probability in the slight risk is 15%. If you go to Enhanced, it's going to be 30%.
I wouldn't be shocked, though, if they were to extend that slight a bit further to the east.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked if we get like Lansing, Alma, Mount Pleasant into a slight risk by 4 or 9 p.m. tonight.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is again, like we said, it expires at 8 a.m. So anything that happens after 8 a.m. would go for like the current day 2 outlook, which is right there. So that's basically 8 a.m. Tuesday through 8 a.m. Wednesday. So that's what you're seeing on your screen right there. And so it's unfortunately with the timing, it's right on the edge of when the outlook changes to the next day. So that's why you don't see Eastern Michigan in the severe threat for day 1. But day 2 is basically the start of, that same time period. If it makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense.
It lines up.
Ryan can draw while Joel does Storm Whisper ASMR. Okay.
Deadly duo.
For those who missed it the other night, when I was staying up until 3 a.m., I was the only one on. I was watching storms roll down the Michigan-Indiana border just in case they were going to go severe. And when we don't get severe, when there's nothing severe going on, or special weather statements, I guess you could say, we like to have fun around here. And part of that is sometimes it usually happens at night, late night crew happens. And, you know, we say random stuff. I've danced before, like when we've hit subscriber milestones, like 11,000. And we recently hit 13,000 on YouTube, and I hit the gritty. So, yeah, it's always there's always something new happening here at MSC.
If we can hit 15,000 subscribers tonight, Joel will do another gritty.
Sure.
As long as there's no severe happening.
Yeah.
When there's severe happening, we are dead serious.
Yeah. My friend says, I have a senior photo session tomorrow, 3-6. I'm commanding the Storms to stay away at that time. Yeah, day 2 outlook there. It's possible you may get it in. Depends on what the environment does for redevelopment in the afternoon. Again, it's really just based on what happens overnight tonight and how much instability can recover for tomorrow, which is our fuel. Me hitting the gritty is on my Twitter page. Yes, it has been clipped. Brian taking his hat off on camera at 20K.
Not happening. I'm sorry, Don. Not happening.
Montcalm County. That would be about anytime after 5 a.m. Around and after 5 a.m. at the earliest. Again, I'm going to wait until the 18Z ARRR run comes out, and I'll get a timing map out tonight on Facebook and Twitter or X. What would cause more instability? Sunlight. Heats up the surface. It's easier to kind of like show you guys on a skew T, but skew Ts are also very complicated to look at, so it can confuse a lot of people. What pros? Because I saw there was a lot of misinformation on TikTok recently about big storms in July and stuff like that, and that was posted like 3 months in advance. That's just all like, I don't know what the exact word for it is, just like gobbledygook. If you look at the graphic, it was made in Microsoft Paint by some random person who has no meteorology experience whatsoever. But it's just ironic because perhaps it could line up. Who knows? I mean, long-term models are coming in. Tornado threat not expected, and mainly a hail wind threat in Battle Creek Oak Park. Yes. Again, this is damaging wind threat. These MCS systems, they have that Boeing segment on it, and all in that Boeing segment is damaging winds. Picasso. I was the Bob Ross the other night. Nice. Tigers game tomorrow evening. We'll keep an eye on that.
Thank you, Rachel, for becoming a channel member. Appreciate your support, and welcome to the team.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. Yep, severe. So again, for those who are just tuning in, we will say this again. Again, the severe risk that you're seeing on the screen it says Monday, but it goes in effect through Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. And that's when we expect the severe risk to start, is right around that 4 to 8 a.m. time frame at the very end of the day one outlook for Tuesday morning. So again, a lot of you guys today are going to be dry across the state. You could probably loop that there.
So UP, it says 1 a.m. Central Time as the earliest arrival of precip in the UP. Perhaps some arriving in West Michigan as well. That's not supposed to be severe or strong, just some rain showers there. The main line arrives right about here, which is on this model 5 a.m. And there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, and there's 10, 11, and then noon.
And again, earlier start potential for the UP, midnight and later.
Yep.
Best 2-man weather team on the internet. Thank you. We're more than 2, though. We got a team of 5 plus all the Chaser Partner Network guys. So there's about 20 of us, give or take, combined between everyone. Takes a village. But thank you guys for the nice comments. We appreciate them as always. No tornado threat for Kalamazoo, at least on there. But again, we're gonna say low but non-zero because you can get little kinks in the line that could spin up, and usually that would be what we'd see in those kinks in the line. It would be extra like pockets of damaging wind, but sometimes they can be classified as a weak tornado. But again, damaging winds, main threat.
Yeah, there's going to be any type of tornadic activity. It's going to be tied very close to the lakeshore here.
Yep.
In this area right about there, or at least close to that zone.
Yep. Demon, you forgot, or Dawn, you forgot Chandler.
Who dared?
Our
Dawn?
vice president.
I'm telling Chandler on you, Dawn.
How is school going? It's going great. Again, 6 months away from a meteorology degree, so I'm still here at the end of the year. I'll be a degreed meteorologist on staff. He was in the live for the Gladwin tornado from work.
Chandler handles a lot of things behind the scenes you guys don't get to see.
Yeah.
He works a lot. So
Yeah.
you're not going to see him on stream a lot, but you'll see him chasing and handling a lot of stuff you guys are never going to see.
I will say, and we brought Mike. He's our honorary 6th man. Also a big behind the scenes guy. I appreciate Mike as always.
Yes. When Joel and I are on here streaming, Mike is usually the guy writing those updates for our page on Facebook. So Mike is a huge part of what we do here.
Mm-hmm. Is this for now? Yes. So this is the severe risk through Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. And that's when we expect these storms to roll through. So again, it says Monday, but again, we're expecting these storms to happen Tuesday morning. It's just the way, that's just the way the SPC has it. It issues it from 8 a.m. one day to 8 a.m. the next. And these storms just so happen to be at the very end of that time frame. So a lot of you guys today are going to see sunny skies out there, or partly cloudy skies. A lot of fair weather cumulus out there today because of summertime. So a little bit of instability kind of up there in the upper levels, keeping things a little partly cloudy. But if anything, maybe a rogue thunderstorm today, but you know, we don't expect anything in that nature. But we say that, and you know, next thing you know, it'll be a special weather statement for somewhere in Michigan, just like there was last night. Yes, we are the main camera guys daily. I'm out of CMU for the summer, so I have a lot of free time. Still looking for a part-time job. This is pretty much my part-time job.
So tornado risk for tomorrow is right here on your screen. It's low, not zero, especially over here in southwest Michigan toward Van Buren, Berrien, and Allegan counties.
Yeah.
But if you're close to this green shaded area, so basically it's the lakeshore counties from Grand Rapids south. That's your primary concern tonight for anything tornadic. But we're not expecting those at this point in time. But again, these systems can ramp up quickly and ramp down quickly. So we got to pay attention for both uptrends and downtrends. Yeah, Rachel, we chase everything from squall lines, tornadoes, blizzards. You'll see our chasers out there for anything weather related.
Yeah. Even fire weather. It's not really a big issue in Michigan, but if that ever happened, we'd probably be out there too. It is kind of dangerous, but you know. Yes, fire weather is a big thing in meteorology. It's just kind of forgotten about because we don't really see it here. SPC is actually in charge of that. issue sometimes what they call isolated dry thunderstorms, which are storms that happen in an area where it's very dry at the surface already, and the rain also doesn't make it all the way to the surface. So you have a lot of lightning and rain that's falling but not hitting the ground because it evaporates because it's so dry. And what happens is you get wildfire conditions and stuff like that do occur, or fires that spread out of control. So it's a real thing, and it happens usually in southwest portion of the United States, down there in New Mexico, Arizona area. Wish list for graduation gift. I don't have any. I haven't started thinking about that. I was talking with Ryan last night about just the or the Amazon wish list, I guess you could say, for the business, and they put like a monitor in there or something like that.
I see a couple questions here for the UP and northern lower Michigan. So you guys up there tonight can expect a potential for severe weather. Although I will say right now, at least, it looks highest across the western UP and northwestern lower. Sault Ste. Marie, for example, I see a question in there, looks to miss out on the main squall line on the current expected track. If it shifts north, you guys will be impacted. But right now, it should stay to your south. Some rain, though, is probably a good bet overnight tonight, though.
Mm-hmm. What's the WPC say? I haven't checked that. I think it's probably marginal.
Me neither.
Pull that up.
You got it.
Nico, those aren't freedom units. Those are knots. But it's right around 60 miles per hour for those who don't know.
Day one does not have anything besides the western UP and a marginal. Day two has a slight risk in southwest Michigan, pretty much matches the SPC risk.
Gotcha. That's for rain, for everyone who's asking or wondering. Why isn't there a chair on the wish list? We already got the chair. Right, Ryan?
Yes.
Yep. Is that the new chair that's making that sound too?
No.
It's the old one. Okay.
New chair is quite uncomfortable. More uncomfortable than I thought it would be.
Just get a pillow. You'll be fine.
It has a pillow. One of these days we'll get it fixed.
Thank you, Ed and Jens, for the nice comment. Tomorrow morning, Holly, east side of the state. Probably 8 to 10 a.m.
Joel will have a timing map up probably closer to 5, 6 o'clock this evening.
Yeah.
Around that time frame. We'll have it ready to go for tonight's briefing for Tuesday evening. We'll also have an update if there's any update for Tuesday morning's risk as well tonight. And we'll have that probably a bit later, closer to 8 to 9 tonight, just to allow for perhaps more models to come in, more confidence to be had, stuff like that.
Yes, it will encourage mosquitoes. I already experienced them when I was chasing out in Gladwin County when I was driving 6 miles through a swamp. I got out of my car and those mosquitoes were about the size of like a quarter. It was crazy. And I was like, well, I'm just going to punch it and get through here.
That hurt.
No problem, Profound. We've been doing this, for those who don't know, we've been doing this for about a year and a half. I would say it's solidly about a year and like 3 months now. We've been covering every severe weather event since then. So we've been on the May 7th one, the Grand Blank tornado we were on. I know a lot of people started following us around the August 24th tornado as well, which was the Weberville day. And then that was also Comstock Park as well that day. And then Perry we were also on, which was about 2 weeks prior to that. So a lot of people have their memories of when they started following us. And those are kind of like the big events that kind of really got us to take off. And we'll continue to cover every severe weather event from start to finish throughout the next whenever eternity. Ryan's getting attacked by something. I'm not sure what.
I jammed my finger on the desk, and yeah, it's not good.
Oh boy, he's getting attacked by a desk.
I'm still here though. I'm just
Gotcha. That's a good idea. Put those mosquito net hats on the wish list. It's not a bad idea.
if you guys would like to buy anything off of Amazon, you can gift us anything you want. Just go to the wish list, and you can literally gift us anything. We have the option turned on. But of course, optional for those of you who want to.
Right. We're not making you guys.
No.
It's just there if you
It
want
was it was highly requested, so if you guys didn't request it, it wouldn't be in existence.
to. Storms timing for those who are just tuning in: 4 a.m. or later for Lower Peninsula. Could start around and after midnight for the Upper Peninsula. Every once in a while, we do look back at our old videos and see how far we came. It was coverage back in August 24th. We didn't have all the graphics like we do now here on screen, and those are only going to get better with time. We have still working on stuff behind the scenes. It's going to be it's a long process, so bear with us. But we'll have new graphics coming and a clock. It's going to be the biggest thing is when we have a clock on the bottom of our screen that you guys can see real-time time.
Absolutely.
How to get your ham license and use real radios. Funny. I mean, that would be a good idea just to have it.
We use Zello primarily, and that does us pretty well. Where are we located? All across Michigan. I'm in Southeast, Joel's in Central, Alex, Nick, and Chandler on the West side.
Yeah, if you look at our,
are scattered all around.
If you look at our logo, all the stars in our logo are where we're located, approximately. So, Ed and Jen's Controlled Chaos with a $9.99 super chat saying, "You have no idea how much you guys have tamed my storm anxiety. It helps to know what areas are affected, severe weather-wise." And the comments from Jen. Jen, thank you very much for that 99 super chat, and we hope you continue to tune into us. Appreciate your support, and we got you through the tough times here. It's the saying, expect the worst, prepare for the best, something like that. Prepare for the worst, expect the best. One of the two.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Gotcha. There it is.
Michael asked, do we train weather spotters? No, we don't. We leave that up to the NWS via Skywarn and yourself. We don't have any teaching credentials to give to you guys. We can't really. We can tell you guys how to read radar, stuff like that, but when it comes to like storm chasing, storm spotting, meteorology in general, that's up to you guys. NWS does put on Skywarn classes. That's a good way to start, usually in the springtime. So next spring, those of you want to be interested in taking a class, we would highly recommend going to take one of those classes. That's a good starting point.
Yeah. Never said why there's a star in the lake. No idea. It was just there when we got our logo, and we we're like, all right, cool. Who opens the boxes? A lot of comments about that. I think Ryan now, right?
Yeah, so we had it go to the P.O. box, and Amazon doesn't really like P.O. boxes. So it's going to me now. But, I mean, if you guys buy anything for the team, it's going to get to them one way or the other, whether I ship it to them, drive it to them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Joel get the biggest star on the map? Because he's the best.
Wait, is it actually?
I have no idea. He is the VIP staff member at MSC.
Well, I guess you're right. I'm looking at it right now. It is bigger than the other four. Interesting. Didn't realize that. Up here in the Mount Pleasant area. But we've been live for an hour now, Ryan. It's quite the long briefing.
And we still have about the same amount of viewers as we had when we started. So you guys are awesome. Tune in as always. Yeah.
And again, if you haven't yet already, hit that like button. Best way to support the page for free, always. Fire up. That's right. That's why I'm here. Central Michigan. University and meteorology program. Start filming your unboxings, Brian. I think that's a idea for you.
If we get we haven't really got too much of anything yet, but if we get like 4 or 5 packages, I might do an unboxing. But if we just get 1 or 2 every now and then.
Yes, we will be doing a timing map.
We're waiting for latest model guidance before we dive in too deep with that, though, which is going to come out here. Actually, should be coming out now, the start of it at least.
Yeah.
So the HRRR loading up, right there, 18Z. So we're 6 hours in. So we'll have that here pretty soon. Then we got the NAM, the RFS, FV3. So SPC watch party tonight. Amanda, that is a possibility. Depends if we're going to be sleeping or not.
Yep. There's a lot of comments here that I got to answer here really quick. What does your family think about your weather streaming? They love it. They love what we're doing. At least my parents do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
What fuels the 5 a.m. storms? Most unstable Cape, which is elevated a little bit up in the atmosphere. That was the main thing I saw. A little bit of shear as well out there for the winds. Let's see what else. Timing map. Yep. Can I shout you guys out on our channel? Absolutely. Feel free to do that. We're here to give weather information for all Michiganders. We appreciate everyone getting weather aware, and that's what we're here to do. A plot twist: Joel made the logo. I did not. I would have told you guys if I did. Unboxing on TikTok is an idea, perhaps.
I'd be an incentive for you guys to send us stuff then. If you guys send us packages, I'll unbox them.
My friend says I'm going to create a rival to ham radios and call them turkey radios. That's great.
Love it.
Yeah. Also a car salesman, Joel. I'm not a car salesman.
Chandler is.
Can people send anonymously? I'm not sure. Maybe, yes.
We have no idea who sends what. We have no way of telling we have a package coming or nothing. So it just arrives. So everything that we can't see anything.
There you go.
So.
How accurate are the local news radar predictions? They're showing this fading out and dying before it hits Wayne County. That's a possibility, especially southeast side of the state. Again, as you can see here on your convective outlook for Tuesday morning, this appears again. Another thing is with the timing, 8 a.m. that cutoff. It's day 2 is going to be 8 a.m. and later. So technically you guys are in a marginal risk. It's on the day 2 graphic. But again, severe for Southeast Michigan is going to be probably later in the day on Tuesday, if I would have to guess. Favorite storms to chase? Supercells, tornadoes, anything storms. Yeah, I'm not the car salesman. That is Chandler. Did not know that. You can leave a note in the Amazon wish list. If you want to rename it anonymous, just leave it blank. Perfect.
We've had a couple of things come through, and we have not seen any names or any arrival information. So it just kind of arrives.
Mm-hmm. So we've been on here 1 hour and 4 now. We're going to do a last second recap here, Ryan. We could probably head off for the afternoon and come back later tonight.
Absolutely. So tonight / overnight tonight / tomorrow morning is your first area of concern for the UP. After midnight, likely going to be 2-3 a.m. for you guys up there in the UP, Western UP specifically. Lower Michigan, Grand Rapids, Mount Pleasant, Lansing, Alma, Kalamazoo areas. Expect arrival of a squall line up storms after 4 or 5 a.m., probably closer, perhaps 6, 7 for first arrival. Damaging winds is your primary concern. A low risk for a tornado close to the lakeshore counties exists. Overall timing on this, overall evolution, is subject to change. These summertime systems can ramp up quickly and ramp back down very quickly. So here is your one model we're going to use. HRRR shows a complex of storms pushing across Lake Michigan, arriving roughly 5 in the morning up here toward Ludington. It stretches back across the lake, swings back down here towards Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, and towards, we're going to say Lansing into Metro Detroit there, weakening as it pushes east and south. Clears the state by roughly noon tomorrow. The SPC outlook on your screen now goes until 8 a.m. So this outlook, well, it's for today, yes, but today will be dry. Tomorrow night or tomorrow morning is when we're expecting these storms to get kicked up and going roughly 4 or 5 a.m. Okay. Another risk could take place on Tuesday evening, although that is very uncertain at this point, depending on how Tuesday morning plays out. We could very well have that Tuesday morning squall line come through and shift the entire risk area for Tuesday night to the south. That's best case scenario. Kind of leaning that direction right now. Not locking that in yet. We'll have more information on that tonight with the latest guidance on the models this afternoon that are coming in now. But overall, prepare for damaging winds tonight, overnight tonight, should I say, toward tomorrow morning, if you live within this risk area in dark green and yellow areas. SPC will update at 4 p.m. and again at 9 p.m. If anything changes, we'll let you guys know.
Yep.
Overall, we will be here tracking this and updating you guys. We'll go live again. What do you think? 8, 9 o'clock tonight, Joel?
I would say probably wait until that 9 o'clock update comes out. So probably shoot for 9:30, maybe.
Okay, there we go. 9:30 tonight, guys. We'll do a live briefing update for the overnight and also for tomorrow night's risk as well. That'll give us 1 or 2 more model suites to look at, 18Z, 00Z. So we'll have a better idea perhaps by then of what to expect for Tuesday evening and also for tomorrow morning.
Yep. Amanda makes a good point there real quick. Instability could ramp back up if it does clear out and build the instability back up for tomorrow afternoon. That's kind of, I think, what the threat's going to be for tomorrow. Preliminary, of course. But we'll see what happens with tomorrow line the storms. That's all I have to say.
All right. You guys have a brilliant afternoon and enjoy a dry day today, but pay attention tonight. Make sure you have your apps turned on to receive warnings. Your weather radios is well charged. Make sure you have ways to receive warning. We'll be live tracking all night long, or not live, but we'll be tracking these all night long if should they be severe here at Michigan Storm Chasers on both Facebook and YouTube streams. All right. With that being said, you guys have an excellent day. Stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. You guys will see us tonight at 9:30 p.m.
See everybody. Have a good one.